Have you ever met someone who smiled warmly at you, yet something in your gut whispered that they weren't being real? We live in a world where everyone wears masks, polite, charming, perfectly composed, but behind them are hidden motives, insecurities, and quiet manipulations. Most people listen to what others say. Stoics learn to watch what they do, because behavior never lies. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." The true Stoic doesn't chase approval or react emotionally. He observes, understands, and responds with reason. In this noisy world, awareness is not just a skill, it's armor. The more you see clearly, the less you'll be deceived, drained, or controlled. Today, we'll uncover 8 Stoic strategies to read people silently and wisely, so you can protect your peace and master every social interaction with calm strength. Comment below. Awareness is my armor. 1. Observe actions, not words. Most people believe words. They listen to what others say and take it as truth because it feels easier to trust than to observe. But words are the cheapest currency in human interaction. Anyone can say, "I care," "I'll be there," or "You can trust me." Yet the Stoics knew that a man's essence is not revealed by his promises. It's revealed by his patterns. Actions don't have the talent to lie. They repeat the truth quietly, consistently, until you finally see it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Pay attention not to what they say, but to what they do again and again." Those few words hold the secret to emotional intelligence the world has forgotten. Think about how many times you've been disappointed because someone told you what you wanted to hear. Maybe it was a friend who swore they had your back, or a partner who promised they'd change, or a co-worker who kept saying, "Don't worry, I'll handle it." Yet their behavior told a different story: missed calls, empty gestures, excuses dressed as care. The Stoic doesn't get angry at this. He simply learns. He observes patterns instead of performances. In modern life, manipulation often hides behind charm. People rehearse kindness, but you can't fake consistency. The Stoic approach is simple. Track patterns, not moments. Watch how people treat you when there's no benefit for them. Notice how they talk about others when those people aren't around. Listen to what they avoid saying. Each silence, each delay, each subtle shift of tone tells you something. It's not cynicism, it's awareness. Seneca once said, "Behavior is the mirror in which every man shows his image." That's why Stoic observation isn't about judging. It's about clarity. You're not reading people to control them, but to stop being controlled by illusions. When you begin to observe instead of react, you detach emotion from perception. You stop trying to decode their words and start decoding their patterns, and that's where your power returns. Try this. For the next 3 days, write down 3 interactions that leave you uncertain or uneasy. Don't analyze yet. Just note what was said, what was done, and what didn't happen. After 3 days, read your notes. You'll start to see repetition. Maybe they always apologize but never change. Maybe they act supportive in public but go silent in private. The mind sees what the heart denies. The Stoic doesn't waste energy on complaints. He studies human nature as it is, not as he wishes it to be. When you master this observation, you become harder to deceive, because truth leaves a trail, and the wise learn to follow it. So, the next time someone's words sound perfect, pause and watch their actions. If they don't align, believe the action, always the action. Because at the end of the day, a liar can fake sincerity, but not consistency. Words are wind. Behavior is evidence. And once you learn to read that evidence, you stop being a victim of people's performances and start becoming a quiet master of perception. Affirmation. I trust patterns, not promises. 2. Watch their reactions under pressure. If you want to know who someone really is, don't watch them when things go well. Watch them when everything falls apart. Anyone can act composed when the air is calm, but pressure strips away performance. It removes the polish and exposes what's real. The Stoics knew this long before psychology did. They understood that adversity is not only a test of strength, it's a revelation of character. Think about it. How many times have you seen people change the moment something doesn't go their way? A friend loses their patience over a small delay. A colleague turns defensive when corrected. A partner becomes cold the second you set a boundary. Pressure doesn't build character, it reveals it. It shows you who's disciplined and who's dependent on comfort. Marcus Aurelius endured wars, betrayal, and loss. Yet he wrote, "When circumstance disturbs you, remember, it is not the thing itself that troubles you, but your judgment of it." Those who can stay calm when things get hard are not lucky. They are trained. A Stoic watches reactions, not apologies. Because when someone is angry, embarrassed, or afraid, the mask slips, the voice sharpens, the posture changes. The eyes look for control. That's the moment you see truth, when ego is louder than intention. In those moments, you don't need to confront them. You simply observe. Their reaction will tell you everything their words will later try to hide. In a world addicted to emotional reactivity, stillness becomes your secret weapon. Practice what I call the pause test. When tension rises, someone interrupts you, disrespects you, or blames you, don't react, just pause. Look at their eyes, their breathing, their tone. People reveal themselves in the silence between words. That 3-second pause gives you more data than any argument could. While they're busy proving something, you're collecting truth. Seneca wrote, "Fire tests gold, and adversity tests brave men." You can apply the same principle to understanding people. Don't rush to comfort them when they panic. Don't fix them when they lash out. Just observe how they handle discomfort. Do they face it or flee from it? Do they learn or blame? Those patterns are not accidents. They are reflections of the person's inner discipline or lack of it. Here's your exercise. Notice 3 people in your life under mild stress this week. A co-worker dealing with pressure, a friend handling disappointment, a stranger arguing in traffic. Observe, without judgment, who maintains composure and who loses themselves. Write what you see. You'll start recognizing emotional maturity, not by what people say, but by how they recover. This is what Stoics call emotional X-ray vision. You see through the surface. You stop being deceived by smiles and start understanding reactions. And when you master this, you'll never again fall for appearances. Because under pressure, truth always leaks out. Affirmation. I see who they are, not who they pretend to be. 3. Energy doesn't lie. Sometimes you meet someone and feel drained after only 5 minutes. You can't explain why. Nothing rude was said, nothing obviously wrong, but something in you tightens. That's your nervous system whispering what your intellect hasn't caught yet. In a world that worships logic, we've forgotten that awareness isn't only mental, it's energetic. Stoics never called it energy. They called it the tone of the soul. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul takes on the color of its thoughts." What he meant was simple. You can sense a person's inner state long before they speak. Peace radiates differently than chaos. Integrity feels different from manipulation. Most people ignore this sense because they've been trained to be polite, not perceptive. We smile through discomfort, pretend we're fine, and silence that quiet intuition that says something's off. But the Stoic learns to listen, to himself first, then to the room. You can't read others clearly if your own emotions are loud. So your first task isn't to analyze them, it's to regulate you. Breathe, settle, become still enough to feel what your body registers, because your body always knows. Pay attention next time you're around different people. Notice who relaxes your shoulders and who tightens your chest. Notice whose presence slows your breathing and whose words make you restless. These are not coincidences. Energy communicates before language ever does. It's the reason you feel peace in the company of someone honest and tension near someone deceptive. Their nervous system broadcasts what their mouth tries to hide. Seneca said, "The mind that is anxious about future events is miserable before they happen." You can sense that misery in those who constantly complain, gossip, or dramatize. They walk into a room and bring weather with them. Their chaos leaks through every gesture. The Stoic, in contrast, enters quietly and stabilizes the space. When your energy is calm, you expose turbulence by contrast. That's why awareness is power. It doesn't control others, it reveals them. Try this exercise. Over the next few days, list 3 people you interact with regularly. After each encounter, ask yourself, did I feel lighter or heavier, calmer or more anxious? Then, look for patterns. You'll realize some people drain you not because they're bad, but because they're unbalanced. Their thoughts are noisy, their intentions unclear. Awareness doesn't judge, it protects. When you know who shifts your energy, you choose your company wisely. In Stoic practice, this is emotional hygiene. Just like you wash your hands after touching something dirty, you must cleanse your mind after contact with negativity. Read a page of Marcus Aurelius. Sit in silence for 2 minutes. Reset your inner tone before it becomes theirs, because energy transfers faster than words ever could. At the end of the day, your calm presence will say more than any speech. You'll walk into rooms and sense truth instantly, not because you're mystical, but because you're observant. You've learned to trust the language beneath the language, and once you master that, you stop chasing explanations. You just know. Affirmation. I trust calm presence over loud words. 4. The silent mirror technique. Silence is one of the most underrated powers in human communication. Most people think it's passive, awkward, or uncomfortable. But to a Stoic, silence is a blade. Clean, still, and precise. It cuts through pretense. It exposes truth. The average person fills silence with noise because they can't bear what it reflects. They talk to distract, explain, or convince. Thinking words control perception. But silence? Silence reveals it. A Stoic knows that when you stop speaking, you stop signaling who you want to be, and that's when the real person emerges, both in you and in them. Seneca wrote, "No man can keep a secret. His silence of the lips betrays it through his eyes." He meant that truth leaks through the smallest gestures, an unfinished sentence, a trembling breath, a blink too long. You don't need to interrogate people to know their motives. You only need to let stillness do the work. Next time you're in a conversation, try holding space without rushing to reply. Let your silence breathe. Watch how quickly the other person starts to fill it. The confident one grows more grounded, their tone steady, their gaze calm. The insecure one fidgets, overshares, or changes subjects. The manipulative one scrambles to regain control, laughing too loud, flattering too much, explaining without being asked. The truth isn't in their words, it's in their reaction to the quiet. You can learn more about someone in 10 seconds of silence than in 10 minutes of talking. That's why Stoics use silence as a discipline. It reveals both others and yourself. When you resist the urge to interrupt, defend, or explain, you start to see patterns. Who interrupts you most? Who grows nervous when you pause? Who respects your quiet instead of trying to fill it? Every reaction teaches you something about their need for control, attention, or approval. In a world addicted to noise, silence is rebellion. People aren't used to it. They misread it as disinterest or arrogance. But silence, used with calm intent, becomes your mirror and your armor. It shows you who belongs in your peace and who only survives in chaos. When you stay quiet, people reveal their values without realizing it. The truthful remain centered, the dishonest overcompensate, the wise match your stillness. Try this exercise. In your next tense conversation, count 3 breaths before responding. Keep your body still, your eyes soft, your tone neutral. Don't rush to fill the gap. Observe. You'll see their nervous system speak louder than their mouth. Some will relax, sensing safety. Others will panic, sensing exposure. Either way, you'll see the truth. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." When you stay silent, you rise above reaction. You don't need to correct, prove, or win. Your presence becomes a mirror that reflects who they are, not who they pretend to be. Silence turns you into the calm eye of the storm, observing everything, disturbed by nothing. Because in the end, silence isn't emptiness. It's awareness made visible. The loudest truths are often spoken in what's left unsaid. Affirmation. I listen beyond words. 5. Notice what triggers them. If you really want to understand someone, don't just study what makes them happy. Study what makes them lose control. People reveal far more in anger than in peace. The Stoics understood this deeply. They believed that emotion is not an enemy, but a messenger. It tells you where someone's inner world is unhealed, where ego replaces wisdom. When you notice what triggers people, you stop taking their reactions personally and start seeing their patterns with calm clarity. Think about it. Every person has invisible bruises, old wounds of rejection, shame, jealousy, fear. Touch one by accident, and you'll meet not the adult in front of you, but the child still defending his pain. Epictetus wrote, "When someone provokes you, remember, it is your own opinion that is disturbed." He meant that people's reactions are reflections of what they still can't master within themselves. Anger, jealousy, defensiveness, these are not random storms. They are alarms going off inside. When you observe someone's trigger, don't rush to judge or fix them. Just note what awakens the storm. Do they tense when you disagree? Do they compete when you succeed? Do they withdraw when you stop giving attention? Each reaction is a roadmap to their insecurities. A Stoic learns to read those maps without getting lost in them. You see the emotion, but you don't absorb it. You understand the wound, but you don't step into it. Imagine you're in a discussion and someone suddenly raises their voice. Instead of mirroring their energy, take a breath. Ask yourself silently, what pain did I just step on? Maybe they felt dismissed. Maybe they feared losing control. Maybe they weren't used to boundaries. When you frame reactions this way, empathy replaces offense. You no longer see an angry person. You see an unhealed person reacting from habit. That shift changes everything. Seneca once warned, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay." The Stoic doesn't suppress emotion. He slows it down, both in himself and others. You can do the same. When someone gets triggered, create space instead of tension. Let them speak. Don't match their volume, just observe the pattern. If it repeats, you've learned something valuable. What they can't control yet. And people who can't control themselves will always try to control others. Try this small practice. Write down 3 moments this week when someone's reaction surprised you. Instead of labeling them as rude or irrational, write what might be beneath it. Fear of failure, desire for approval, need for dominance. You'll start realizing that every trigger is a teacher. It tells you who people are, and more importantly, who you want to be around. The Stoic goal is not to avoid people with triggers. It's to stop letting their triggers control your peace. You become the observer, not the participant. You don't absorb their chaos. You reflect it back with stillness. Because the one who can stay calm when others are losing themselves doesn't just read people. He masters the room. In the end, remember this. People can hide intentions, but they can't hide reactions. Triggers expose truth faster than confession ever will. Affirmation: I read emotion without absorbing it. 6. Learn to decode. Micro-betrayals. Most betrayals don't begin with grand lies. They start in whispers, tiny fractures in behavior so subtle that you almost excuse them. A delayed response, a promise broken just this once, a shift in tone when someone else walks into the room. Those are what the Stoics would call micro-betrayals, small cracks in integrity that reveal the truth long before it explodes. People rarely change overnight, they just stop pretending as well. Seneca wrote, "Trifles reveal the soul." It's one of the most practical Stoic lessons for reading people. The Stoic doesn't wait for the dramatic moment to see someone's nature. He studies the details. He notices who remembers when it matters, who listens when it's inconvenient, who keeps their word when no one is watching. Because the small things are never small. They are evidence of the invisible character beneath the surface. Modern life teaches us to ignore these instincts. We call them overthinking or paranoia. But awareness is not suspicion, it's discernment. The Stoic doesn't jump to conclusions. He gathers data quietly. When something feels off, he doesn't accuse, he observes. Patterns always confirm what intuition first whispers. If you learn to recognize the micro-betrayals early, you won't have to suffer the big ones later. Watch for contradictions between what people say they value and how they actually behave. The friend who talks about loyalty but gossips about others. The co-worker who praises teamwork but hoards credit. The partner who claims honesty yet hides small truths. These aren't random slips. They're rehearsals for bigger lies. Once you see these gaps, don't argue, just note them. You don't need confrontation when evidence speaks louder than words. Epictetus taught that a wise man is slow to trust, but once he does not fear. This isn't cynicism, it's emotional intelligence. You can't build deep relationships without risk, but you can minimize blind ones by paying attention early. A Stoic heart stays open, but his eyes stay sharp. He understands that awareness is not about control. It's about choice. When you notice small betrayals, you reclaim the power to decide who deserves your trust. Here's a simple practice. For 1 week, keep a pattern log. Each day, write down one moment that didn't sit right with you. Maybe someone avoided eye contact, minimized your effort, or laughed at something they once praised. At the end of the week, look for repetition. 1 event might be coincidence. 3 is a pattern. 5 is character. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If someone can show me I am mistaken, I will gladly change, for I seek the truth, not victory." Apply that humility inward, too. Sometimes the micro-betrayal comes from us. When we break our own word, ignore our intuition, or tolerate disrespect because it's easier than change. Reading others always begins with reading yourself. In the end, the Stoic doesn't react to betrayal with anger. He thanks it for revealing what was hidden. Every small crack in truth is a light breaking through illusion. Notice it early, honor it quietly, and move accordingly. Affirmation: I notice what others ignore. 7. Detach emotionally, observe objectively. One of the hardest Stoic skills is emotional detachment. Not because it makes you cold, but because it makes you clear. Most people can't see the truth, not because it's hidden, but because they're too emotionally involved to recognize it. Feelings blur perception. Attachment distorts judgment. You start wanting a person to be good so badly that you ignore every sign showing they're not. The Stoic learns to step back, not out of indifference, but out of discipline. Clarity demands distance. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your judgment of it." He wasn't teaching apathy. He was teaching mastery. To detach emotionally means to observe what's happening without attaching a story to it. You stop labeling things as good or bad, fair or unfair. You just see, and in that seeing, truth appears. Think about the last time you felt hurt by someone's behavior. Maybe they ignored your message, spoke harshly, or disappointed you again. Your emotions probably rushed in to defend your expectations. How could they? Why would they? But the Stoic doesn't spiral into why. He pauses and asks, what is actually happening right now? This small question shifts you from reaction to awareness. Emotional detachment isn't suppression, it's self-respect. It's saying, I can feel without becoming the feeling. When you practice this, you reclaim the space between stimulus and response, the space where freedom lives. You see people's actions for what they are, not for what you fear or hope they mean. And in that neutrality, you become unshakable. Here's a simple Stoic exercise. When someone triggers you, do 3 things. Label, delay, observe. Label the emotion, anger, sadness, disappointment. Naming it separates you from it. Delay your response by 10 seconds or 10 breaths, enough time for the storm to pass. Then observe again. Does the situation look the same without emotion coloring it? Most of the time it doesn't. Perspective expands as attachment loosens. Seneca said, "He who suffers before it is necessary suffers more than is necessary." When you detach, you end this self-inflicted suffering. You stop trying to control others and focus on controlling your interpretation. That's how the Stoic turns pain into information. Instead of "they hurt me," you think "they revealed themselves." Instead of "I lost something," you think "I learned where not to invest my peace." Try this practice tonight. Reflect on one interaction that still bothers you. Replay it mentally, but this time as an outsider watching 2 strangers. What do you see differently? Where were emotions louder than facts? That's emotional objectivity, the space where truth lives. The Stoic doesn't detach to escape. He detaches to understand. When your peace no longer depends on others' behavior, you gain the rarest form of strength, the kind that no betrayal, disappointment, or chaos can shake. You start reading people not through wounds, but through wisdom. Affirmation. I see clearly because I feel less. 8. Predict behavior by studying values. If you want to predict someone's future behavior, don't look at their words. Look at their values. Because values are the compass behind every decision, every reaction, every betrayal. You can't fake them for long. The Stoics knew that character is revealed not in what a person claims to believe, but in what they consistently choose when comfort and principle collide. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." That sentence alone exposes the whole truth about human behavior. People don't live by what they say, they live by what they serve. Every human being is loyal to something. Some serve truth, others image. Some worship comfort, others discipline. Some choose peace, others drama. Once you know what a person values most, their behavior becomes predictable. The man who values power will manipulate. The one who values approval will lie to keep peace. The one who values integrity will disappoint you before he deceives you. Values are behavioral forecasts. They tell you where the storm will come from and who will stand firm in it. The problem is that most people never slow down enough to listen for values. We get distracted by appearances, status, confidence, intelligence. But the Stoic looks deeper. He studies what people praise and what they tolerate. Do they admire discipline or mock it? Do they celebrate honesty or reward flattery? These clues tell you exactly what guides them. People reveal their values in the smallest sentences. That's not a big deal. Everyone does it. It's just business. Each phrase uncovers the line they're willing to cross. Epictetus taught, "First say to yourself what you would be, then do what you have to do." The Stoic uses this not just for self-mastery, but for discernment. When you understand your own values clearly, honor, truth, peace, you start to feel immediate friction around people whose compass points elsewhere. You don't need conflict to separate. The difference in vibration does it for you. Awareness naturally creates distance. Try this reflection. Choose 3 people you interact with often. For each, answer 3 questions. 1. What do they chase when life feels uncertain? Pleasure, control, or purpose? 2. What do they sacrifice most easily? Truth, time, or self-respect? 3. What do they fear losing? Status, comfort, or integrity? The answers will tell you what they value, and from that, you can predict their choices under pressure. Seneca once said, "A man's worth is no greater than his ambitions." The Stoic understands that ambitions don't lie. They expose what the soul considers sacred. When you read values, you're not judging people. You're reading the blueprint of their destiny. And that knowledge frees you. You no longer take betrayal personally because you realize it wasn't malice, it was misalignment. They were loyal to their own values, not yours. In the end, awareness of values is the highest form of reading people. You stop reacting to moods and start understanding motives. You stop hoping for change and start accepting truth. The wise don't need to predict. They simply understand. Affirmation. I understand motives, not moods. You've now learned 8 Stoic strategies to read people without them ever knowing. By watching actions, pressure, energy, silence, triggers, small betrayals, emotional detachment, and values. But remember this, the goal is not to judge others. It's to protect your peace and sharpen your perception. The more you see clearly, the less you'll be deceived, drained, or disappointed. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If someone does wrong, it is because they do not know better." The Stoic doesn't hate, he understands. Awareness is his armor, not his weapon. When you master the art of seeing people as they are, you stop reacting and start leading. You become unshakable in a world built on confusion. So carry this truth with you. You don't need to control others to stay strong. You only need to understand them. Affirmation. I see clearly. I stay calm. I act wisely. Comment below. Awareness is my armor.